Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October the 22nd, and I have a couple of updates for you about the Emerging Trends Project. I know many of you are looking ahead, many of you already have your topics selected. What I'm looking for here is for you to look at a trend of technology and not a technology itself. We're looking to see the impact that technologies are having and the trends and the directions that those technologies are taking us, the impact that that has on our individual business operations. We're looking at the impact on the CYB model, basically, how these technologies and how they're changing the way that people work, what people do for work, our internal, external people and processes. So we're going to work through a CYB model of the trend that the technology is taking us along, the path that it's going on. So some of you are looking at cloud technology. So the trend there and the topic there is not only to explain what cloud technology is, but also to talk about how the use of the cloud is changing how people do their jobs and what people are doing in their job and how it changes how we interact with other people outside the organization. So what we're going to do is build a mind map. Now let me show you a couple of mind map software options. This is Novamind. This is the one that I'm hoping will be available soon. Yesterday it was at 96%, so at the rate they're going, I'm expecting that it will be ready at least by the beginning of next week. The advantage to Novamind is that it's a cloud-based system where you can run across mobile platforms or your desktop platforms. So it should work across any device that anybody on your team is working on, and it would give you more flexibility. But there are other options of mind mapping software. Another is MindJet by MindJet. The name of the software is Mind Manager. And this is another option, but it's not built for mobile platforms, but it is available for both Windows and Mac. So this one you can run a 30-day free trial.
It's 9 o'clock.
You can run a 30-day free trial on this package, and I don't really mind which one you choose to go with. I'll just let you decide which one will be the best for your team. If everyone is working on a Windows platform, then this might be just as good as the other. But if you're working across platforms, or if you want to just see what the other is like, I'll just leave it up to you. But let me show you some resources that I have linked. Here at mindtools.com, there's an article about this mind mapping approach to taking notes or building diagrams. I have this YouTube video linked on your step 6 description, as well as this page. So it goes through and it kind of tells you a little bit about how you build a mind map and what you're actually trying to accomplish. So you have your main topic, which for you is your trend, and then you have your subheadings or subdivisions or subtopics that you branch directly off of this, and then you have more subtopics that branch off of that. So you're basically building out a visual outline that's going to give you a visual picture of all of the topics that are of interest to your main subject. So this is basically a description of a mind map. There's also another video. This is a TED presentation where this guy is talking about the power of using a mind map. So a couple of interesting things here to help you understand what a mind map is, how to build one, and then what I'm looking for you to do is to, using the CYB model, create a mind map of your technology trend that discusses concerns around the chosen trend. So you're going to have, let's say, take internal people, and we're going to define at least 1 to 3 issues or concerns. Then you're going to define the issue, discuss the pros and cons of the issue, and then this last concerns here is kind of a bucket for things that maybe don't fit in as an advantage or a disadvantage about your specific issue or concern or topic. So this is just sort of a last bucket that you don't have to use, but it's there if you want to. And this is really just a framework. You can add to this or remove from this if as you feel like it needs to be changed. Um, but then also, I want you to list potential outcomes. So, based on the items that you have commented on as pros and cons, what are the potential results of using this technology and going down this path and following the trend? There are advantages, disadvantages. How could it turn out? Things to consider, and then theories that we've talked about that could have an impact or could be driving the adoption or use of the technology. So here's a picture of what this might look like when you finish. So here is a mind map that I've just laid out here in Novamind. So you've got your internal people. I know this is small. External people, internal processes, and external processes. And so you've got here your basic CYB model. You've got issue 1, 2, and 3. With each one of these, you define the issue, list the pros and cons, and your concerns. And then I want you to also provide your sources. So link your sources on your document here so that if you sent this file to someone else or exported it as a PDF, they would be able to find your resources that you've used to develop what you found to be the definition of the issue, pros and cons and concerns. You don't have to have two sources for everything. One source is adequate, but some of them you may have 4 or 5 sources. So I think this is a really useful tool, and I think it's something that your team could begin to use, especially perhaps the cloud version on Novamind. Later on, as you are developing your projects throughout this entire program, this could be a resource for you to use as a team to keep up with all of your sources, all of your topics, all of your headings, and then to turn that into a paper or a project or a presentation. I've never done it this way before, so I'm interested to see what the outcome is. What you're going to turn in is actually going to be 2 things. You're going to build out this outline for one. So I want you to do it both ways. I want you to build it out as an outline here and as a mind map. So you're going to create your support documentation for your mind map. And then finally, you're going to submit your mind map. I want it to fit in one page as a PDF. Submit your mind map and your documentation support. Now, to get it all to fit, what I think you're going to have to do is you see how on this one, the external people here, I've collapsed all of the sources. So you can expand or collapse any of these, and I have collapsed the sources, and that makes it smaller. And so what you're going to have is perhaps reducing your size by collapsing your sources. And you can do that because the sources will be laid out in your document. So that's just this is just the way I want to try it. Like I said, I've never done it this way. I'm definitely going to be looking for feedback after you complete the project to see what you thought about this building this type of mind map. I think you can each go in and search for your individual pieces. I'm sure you're going to divide and conquer this project, but at the end of the day, when you look at your one-page mind map, I think what you should see is a good overview of the questions and concerns using the CYB model for this technology trend, whatever one you've selected. And also, I'm going to post all of your colleagues' uh, mind maps, and you should be able to walk away from this with 8 good models of the concerns around different technology trends. So I hope that this helps you to understand what I'm looking for on this project, and I'm very much looking forward to it. If you have any questions as you're working through it, don't hesitate to ask, because like with anything else, it's new. So I'm sure there's things that I have not thought of because this is a new type of project. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that it's a good experience for you. And I think that we'll come out with some good things from the end of it. Just let me know if you have any questions, and be sure to communicate with me. So